Subtle. S-U-B-T-L. T here you can't pronounce. Subtle is an adjective. Is an adjective. Tree is sound is off here. Subtle. 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 Right? Great. What is the meaning of subtle? Not obvious or loud. Difficult to notice but important. Subtle is an adjective. What does it mean? Let's identify. Not obvious or loud. Not obvious or loud. Difficult to notice but important. Difficult to notice but important. But important. Important. Difficult to notice. That is the meaning of subtle. Subtle. Similar meaning, gentle. Synonyms means similar meaning. Gentle, faint, delicate. Let's practice again. Subtle means not obvious or loud, but it's important. You can see the gentle people, they talk less, but their importance matters. Anywhere, they're gentle, they talk less. They're very simple, but their gesture, their presentations, their energy is important. You can see when they stand, they speak, you can see some, you can feel some aura. Important. Now, antonyms. Find out the antonyms. Loud, clear, obvious. If someone is gentle, talk less, so what is the opposite one? Loud. What is the opposite one? Loud. Clear, obvious. Clear? Great. Next, see some examples. Examples. There was a subtle change, or even subtle change. There was a subtle change, there was a, just a minute. So let's practice again. This word is subtle. Don't pronounce subtle, subtle. Say subtle. Meaning is not obvious or loud, difficult to notice, but important. Synonyms, gentle, delicate. Antonyms, loud, clear, obvious. Subtle. How to pronounce? Subtle. Next is example. Let's see a few examples of this subtle. Few example. Example number one is there was a subtle change, very minor change. There was a subtle change in heart tone. There was a subtle change in heart tone. Next, his humor is very subtle. That means he can speak, he can add humor in his sentences or in his conversations easily. Subtle, very subtle, very subtle. Next, she gave a subtle hint. That means someone is giving you a subtle hint, very minor hint. Good. Next, I noticed a subtle difference, very minor difference. I noticed a very subtle difference. The perfume had a subtle fragrance. The perfume had a subtle fragrance. Good. Next, learn how to remember this word with the help of memory technique. Visualize a whisper in the ear. Visualize a whisper in the ear, almost invisible. Visualize a whisper in the ear, almost invisible. Almost invisible. You can barely hear it. That means you are trying to hear it, barely. You are trying to hear it, but it's there. Trying to hear it, but it's there. Or think that of a faint scent of flower in the wind, very delicate, very subtle. That means visualize a whispering in the ear, almost invisible, but there is some present, almost invisible. You can barely hear it. You are trying to hear it. It's not too loud, very minor, but it's there. Right? So this is a subtle. Clear? You can remember this way. Great.